Today I thought we'd take a look at the Masterverse, Masters of the Universe Revelation He-Man figure from Mattel. This figure is based on the 2021 Netflix series produced by Kevin Smith, which was kind of a continuation of the 1983 He-Man series, the series that I used to watch as a child. I remember absolutely loving He-Man as a child. As I've mentioned on a previous video, I would run home from school just to get in front of the TV in time to watch it. I also had the VHS tapes as well to tide me over when it wasn't on the television. Now, as I'm sure you know, this series was not met with praise. In fact, the internet was furious, but when is the internet not furious? A lot of people didn't like the fact that He-Man was hardly in it. I was one of them. I wanted to see He-Man return, and it turned out to be more of a Teela story rather than a He-Man story. And it kind of disappointed me a little bit because, like I said, all I wanted to see was He-Man. And the story seemed to revolve around Teela and the side characters rather than He-Man himself. Saying that, in hindsight, even though I was disappointed, it's not a bad series and I did enjoy it. I wish there was more He-Man in it, of course. If you're gonna make a cartoon about He-Man, He-Man should be in it. But the second run of episodes were a lot better and you did see a little bit more of He-Man, but it still felt a little bit lackluster. But for what it was, I did enjoy it. But we're not here to talk about the series today, we're here to talk about the figure that is from the series. So let's get into it. Now, the first thing we'll look at is a packaging which for some reason, to me, isn't as attractive as the 40-year anniversary figure I just reviewed recently, although it is very similar. So down at the bottom here we've got Masters of the Universe Revelation He-Man, made by Mattel, little Netflix sticker there, and then we've got the Masterverse logo on the top. The figure comes nicely presented in this package here, not as nice as a 40-year anniversary figure which was in a battle pose. And then we've got some nice artwork on the side here of He-Man. He's very reminiscent of the 1980s He-Man because, like I said, this is a continuation of that cartoon. And then we've got this nice artwork at the back as well with the other figures that are available in the line: He-Man, Mossman, Skeletor and Evil Lyn. I tend to only go for the He-Man figures. I am toying with the idea of getting a Skeletor as well. Now, I feel like I'm comparing this figure to the 40-year anniversary He-Man figure which I reviewed last time, but I can't help but do that because that figure was just so beautiful and the artwork on the box was so beautiful. This is as well, but to me the 40-year anniversary box art was even better, but this is still very nice. Okay, let's crack this open. As you know, I'm not a mint in-box collector. I like to have my action figures displayed, and there he is. And here we've got the sword of, nearly call it the sword of omens then. We've got He-Man's sword here, and let's see if I can get some focus on that. There we go. And unlike the 40th anniversary figure, which was just painted, it was detailed, but it was just painted grey. This one has got a lot more detail in the paintwork. As you can see, it's got this darker shade of grey, this lighter shade of grey, and the brown for the handle. Like I said, on the 40-year anniversary figure, it was mimicking the 1980s figure that was released, where all the weapons were bland and grey. But this one, they've gone the other way, and I really do like it. I think it is very, very nice. And next we've got He-Man's shield, which has this orange colour, the grey colour around the edges. It's very reminiscent of the 40-year anniversary figure, which I reviewed last time. I like it. And then we've got two grasping hands. And now let's have a look at the figure. And the first thing I notice is that it is very, very good quality. He looks a lot like the classic version of He-Man. Got these very nice gauntlets here as well, which the detail isn't fantastic on them, but I do like it. He's got plenty of articulation, plenty. He's got boot articulation, ankle articulation, knee articulation. He's got a thigh swivel. He's got this ab crunch thing going on. His head pivots all the way around, up and down. His wrists pivot, elbow pivot. Everywhere this guy is articulated. He's fantastic. You could probably get this guy in some really good poses, which we'll be having a look at soon. Now, what I did just discover when I was trying to put his sword in his hand is that I needed to change the hands around with the ones that came in the packaging. And I will say this, compared to some figures which are very stiff when you're trying to change the hands around and you feel like you're going to break them, this was surprisingly easy to remove and they were easy to put back on. It was quite pleasant actually compared to some figures I've had. And so the sword should now just go into his hand. And one thing I've just noticed is the wrist guard has come off, so I'm gonna have to just pop this wrist back off. You see what I mean? Very easy. Put the wrist guard back on, the gauntlet I should say, and then pop his wrist back on. Very easy to do, not stiff at all, not hard, very easy. Okay, I feel like I'm going back and forth a little bit now, but what I've just discovered is if you want to put a shield on, you have to take the gauntlet off and then slip the hand into the shield. This is the easiest way I found it, and then pop the wrist into the shield, and that was pretty simple. And now we've got a side-by-side comparison of the 40-year anniversary He-Man classic figure. If you were to ask me which one I prefer, of course I'm going to say this one. Whether that's down to nostalgic reasons or not, I don't know, but when I look at them both, I think this one is the better figure. That's not to say that this one isn't a nice figure, but there are a few things I don't quite like about it. Firstly, the skin tone I think looks slightly off. He looks jaundiced. The detail though is very good. I like the boots, I like the shorts, I like the emblem. I like the face sculpt as well. I think they did a very good face sculpt on this figure. It is really good. And then we've got the attention to detail when it comes to the weaponry. And as you can see between the two, they have paid homage to the original He-Man character from the cartoon in this figure as well. They've just changed it ever so slightly. I think he is a little bit more slender as well, where this guy looks more like an Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of caricature. So there you have it, the He-Man figure from the Netflix series Masters of the Universe Revelations. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.